Hi, Rob Linhart here in the Hazel's Wine Department, and we are bringing you Sunday specials for November 19th and 20th.
John was the first one to pull you down. He took one drink and he started to clown. Passed you the Hazel, Jane, and Jack. Penelope got you and passed you right back.
This is it, folks. Last Sunday special before Thanksgiving, and we've got a killer lineup for you. Perfect wines for your Thanksgiving table. We've got two producers, two wines from each, a red and white from each one. We're going to start in France with 2021 Uva Non Grata Gros Manseng. Now, I bet you've never heard of Gros Manseng. It's a fairly obscure grape, grown for many things, but usually grown as bulk wine and distilled. But when they make a good white wine, they can make a really good white wine with this, and this producer has nailed it. This is a big, round, juicy, but somehow still kind of crisp white wine. So interesting, full-bodied, and it's full of fruit. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a dry wine, but you're going to get all manner of orchard fruits here. Take your pick. I found apple, I found pear, I found peach. I found a little hint of a tropical note to that. There's a little bit of accent notes going on as well, just a little hint of earthiness, nice kind of floral tone. And as that acidity comes through, especially on the finish, it'll kind of firm up the wine a little bit, and that will give it a nice mineral finish, almost saline, just a little salty. So don't let the fruitiness of this wine fool you. It is juicy and delicious and a great match for your Thanksgiving table. We're going to stay with Uva Non Grata. We are still in the 2021 vintage. This is their Gamay. Now, Gamay, as most of you know, famous as the Beaujolais grape. Here, they're growing it not in Beaujolais, but they found good terroir, and they made a great example here. Little bit on the lighter side, even as this grape goes, but not a featherweight wine by any means. Good concentration in the fruit. Up front, it's going to open with some sort of brighter, redder tones. I was kind of thinking about strawberry, red cherry, maybe a bit of rhubarb. As it opens up, however, it's definitely going to start to lean into a slightly darker tone. There's a distinct earthy edge to this wine, which is definitely going to provide a darker edge, but that earthy note does make it a really good match with those root veg, parsnips, potatoes, those sorts of things. And as it opens up, it will show you a distinct, very pronounced spicy note, a very nice sort of spicy note. Think cigar box almost, so a little bit cedary, but you get into those cardamom, nutmeg, allspice type spices. So there's a lot going on in this wine for the money. And as always with good Gamay, a dead match for turkey. We're heading to California now for two wines from Eden Rift Vineyards. These are the estate bottlings, and we're going to start with the 2018 Chardonnay. This is going to be immediately recognizable for most of you as a California-style Chardonnay. Up front, I got these big blasts of that caramelized fruit, toasty notes from the oak coming through. This wine did go through 100% malolactic conversion, and that might lead you to think it's going to be a very buttery, very soft style. But it will surprise you in the fact that it is surprisingly firm and focused. So even though it's gone through that process, I would not consider this a particularly buttery Chardonnay. But it's got great weight and great depth. Tons of pear, white peach fruit. That oak influence is going to start to show up. You'll get a nice sort of creaminess, a sense of sweet cream, that toastiness that you get from the oak, a caramelized sense of the fruit coming through on this wine. Classic California note of preserved lemon, preserved citrus carrying through. A little bit nutty. Everything we look for in these California Chardonnays. Now, it is a bit closed, a little bit tight up front. I do recommend you give this wine a chance to open up and take some air to really show its true colors. But when it gets there, it will really get there. Last but not least, we're staying with Eden Rift for the 2018 Estate Pinot Noir. Up front, this Pinot gave some nice lift, some good aromatics up front, nice floral tone. Definitely starting out on the slightly darker side of the line for fruit. So I was kind of thinking black cherry, blackberry, maybe a little bit of a blue tone going on. As it opens up, a little bit of tar, which is probably giving that blue or black tone to those fruits, kind of fades a little bit, and then the fruit gets redder and it gets almost tropical. So give it some time and it'll go from this progression from darker fruits to redder, lighter, brighter fruits. And I was thinking about rhubarb, pomegranate, maybe cranberry. So much good fruit going on in there. It has seen its share of oak, so of course that oak influence will come through as this wine opens up. And like the Chardonnay, it will take a little time to open up, so be a little patient with it. But when it comes, that oak gives a beautiful, nice balance to this wine. The vanilla will play with those fruit tones, and I was kind of thinking, cherry ice cream or black cherry ice cream. I love that kind of tone. Little bit of that spice will come through, so we'll start to get some cinnamon, maybe some allspice showing up as well, giving nice detailed accent notes to this wine. On the finish, we get a similar sort of mineral, slightly saline note as we get from the Chardonnay. And again, that's that sea influence coming in off of Monterey. So for both of these wines, and I would say especially for the Chardonnay, a good reminder, give them a chance to open up and they will reward you handsomely.
John was the first one to pull you down. He took one drink and he started to clown. Passed you the Hazel, Jane, and Jack. Penelope got you and passed you right back.